Hey y'all, how's it going today? I've got another news story for you, something huge that I really think is something we should be paying really close attention to, given the situation we're in the world and given the situation with our military. If you've watched a couple of the videos previous, I've gone into on a couple occasions the problems we're facing with retention in the military and how we're not able to draw the size military we need to deal with the future threats we may face. Those future threats may be coming to life right now. So a Russian fighter jet has collided with and basically crippled a U.S. It's an MQ-9, which is, the cool name for it is the Reaper. Cool sounding name, right? Saw these things in Afghanistan. They're actually pretty cool. For a guy who doesn't like drones, pretty darn cool. Basically, they started these two jets, and the picture is actually in the thumbnail. So if you look at that jet that's in the thumbnail, that's actually the jet and the drone. Basically, this drone was flying around the Black Sea doing what drones do, and these two fighter jets intercepted it while it was over international waters, just flying around doing drone stuff. And the way they describe these intercepts is either professional or unprofessional. And professionally means they fly up next to it, kind of look over at it, stare at it, intercept it, say, hey, like they do with our airplanes all the time, I am here, don't go any closer, quit messing around. Unprofessional is what we've been seeing a lot of lately, where they are crowding these planes, doing barrel rolls over them, all this kind of stuff. So the big thing of note, I think, with this is that this one was very unsafe and very unprofessional, which is what led to the downing of our drone. So the Russian jets, the Su-27 is modestly comparable to our F-15. I would take our F-15 in a fight, obviously, but it is a very prolific fighter of the third, fourth generation-ish, not stealthy, but still a pretty serious customer. And the report coming out says that the Russian jets flew along the drone for about 40 minutes before one of them clipped its propeller and sent it down. Both jets basically harassed it, flew crossing patterns in front of it to try to get it to go off course, flew in front of it and dumped jet fuel all over it, because they've got a purge valve where they can open it up and dump jet fuel all over it, trying to foul the systems and maybe even start a fire. Who knows what they were thinking on that one. And the interesting thing here is that's pure harassment, because the Reaper, speed on it about 275 miles an hour. It is not exactly tearing up the skies. This thing is not super fast, but it's not meant to be fast because it's meant to be quiet. The propeller engines on these things are meant to have minimal noise, minimal signature, because its job is to hang out and loiter in the airspace and take videos, take pictures, give us intelligence, and if necessary, intervene, which they are absolutely capable of. They can carry a mixture of bombs and missiles, not a very large payload, but enough that they can affect the situation if necessary. So these Su-27s are capable of the speed of sound. They're greater than Mach 1. I mean, these are very fast aircraft, and I won't super get into the details because I don't want to bore you guys with how fast they are, but let's say it's faster than 275, significantly faster than 275. Chances are good that the Russian fighter was damaged by hitting the propeller. Airplanes and helicopters don't react well to bullets, they don't react well to bird strikes, and they definitely don't react well to hitting other aircraft. So chances are very strong that this airplane was damaged over the course of this, but it doesn't appear that it was damaged in such a way that it was incapable of continuing. So the Russians have come out denying it was their aircraft and that, it's some sort of false flag operation. Chances are, from the video that I've seen, pretty darn good that this is exactly the way it went down. I mean, I don't see anything from the video that I've seen of the intercept that would show that they were acting in any way in a professional way. Up next, we've got, Joe Biden comes out and briefs the incident, and basically they just kind of say it was super reckless and continues with the patterns that we've seen out of Russia, that they have been acting in a reckless fashion. And it's funny to me because it's like, okay, so the Russians are acting reckless. Well, let's see. They've invaded a country that they expected to steamroll and are now having problems. They have basically alienated themselves from the world stage, and now they have airplanes that are clipping our drones. I really think this is pretty reckless. Yeah, we were into full-up reckless, I would say. Pentagon officials say that there was no discussion between the jets didn't try to hail the aircraft, nothing. They didn't try to make any sort of information whatsoever. But the thing that I think is interesting here and somewhat telling is that the Russians are moving ships into position for an attempt to recover the drone. So that begs the question, was the entire act done purely for the purpose of recovering the drone, knocking it out, bringing some ships up and getting their hands on it? I think this is one of those situations that if the temperature, so to speak, of our relationship was not so hot, we probably would send some frustrating words, some messages over saying, hey, that's American property. You recover that thing, send it back to us immediately. And oh, by the way, you owe us for one Reaper drone. Where in reality, basically all we've done to this point is lodge a complaint and say to the Russians, hey, that's really uncool, guys. We need you to quit doing that. Listen, don't do it again. But so far, I think all it really shows is kind of going back to what we were talking about previously, that these countries don't have the respect for us they once did. There always used to be intercepts. In the 80s and 90s, they would fly bombers to our Alaskan border. We would fly our bombers to their borders. There would be intercepts, respectfully fly around for a couple of minutes, taking pictures and waving at each other, and then everybody goes back to what they were doing. What about now? It appears that we've kind of moved a little bit away from that, I think. So, but that's kind of the breakdown of where this event is so far. I think the big thing of note is, in my opinion, that the Russians are in fact making efforts at pushing our buttons, and they're doing so in such a way, if they would have shot it down, if they would have come out and fired a missile at it or put a gun on it and shot that thing down, it's an act of war. But if it's an accident, they accidentally down our drone, they have deniability to say, oh, mea culpa, bad, sorry, we've reviewed the tape, the pilot will be disciplined, and we apologize, and as soon as we recover it, we'll turn it right over after they've had a great chance to look at everything on it. Thing is, Reapers have been around for quite a while now, so I don't think there would likely be any technology on it that would be exploitable. But the fact that they downed it and now they're going out to try and recover it makes them, in my opinion, look a little shady, I think. We'll see where it goes from here. I think our response needs to be, honestly, I think a little soft would be the way to go. To say, all right, cool, accidents happen, everything's fine. And then tomorrow we put one right back up there. Fly the exact same flight path, exact same time of day. Make them show that it was an accident. I mean, we've got enough problems in America right now. I don't think rattling the saber with them is necessary, but showing them it doesn't touch our resolve is necessary. So, interesting, just another one of those signposts that I think really shows that the world is losing their fear of us, even though, in my personal opinion, probably should be fairly afraid still. Just saying. So, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Really appreciate that if you guys throw a like at it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do it. And I'll keep breaking down these live events for you because that shows me you guys are liking what I'm doing. So also thank you guys so much for watching the video yesterday I did with Squirrel Tribe and Kevin. That was a lot of fun doing that. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying that content. So have a great day. Thanks so much, y'all.